Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I've been trying to get something out of this meeting, and thus far it's been very difficult. But a couple of questions, and it was not dual parallel universes with alternative universe. An alternative means that you're not dealing with reality quite well. But just want to make the distinctions of what I said. Mr. Jarvis, thank you for being here. I know that that I wish this was an honest effort to discuss why you were forced to respond to congressional efforts to shut down our government, why the sequestration continues to mount increased burdens on the agency. But this is a media event and has to be treated like so. There's not a look for solutions. What I did find interesting, though, Mr. Jarvis, is one of the things that I learned is that the idea that we have to have a shutdown preparedness program within every agency. That because, and it's been admitted by my colleagues, this phenomena will continue, and there will be other shutdowns. So there's a preparedness plan that you must now put together, so you minimize bad publicity for members, so that special parks in their areas are left open, so there's not any public criticism, so that the most visible, like the Grand Canyon, are left open, so that we minimize that public opinion and public response to the fact that one of their treasures and all of their public lands are being closed as a consequence of a shutdown. It's an interesting preparedness issue. I don't know how you'll do it, but that will require you to be able to still furlough 20,000 people, keep the parks open, all access open, do it with 400 or 500 people, and in that preparedness plan, make sure that the public lands are left alone, yet do not have the money to operate. It's an interesting request. I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion that you can come up with a plan. I would suggest that it's probably an effort that it doesn't require any time. It just requires that all the parks be left open, that there be no oversight, that there be no security, that there be no maintenance, and they're just open. It is a silly request and a silly idea to deal with the adverse publicity that's been generated by the closure of our government, and in particular in this area, the government, the public lands. The other thing I learned is that we should start as part of preparedness, have pre-existing templates with each state so they could assume the payment of keeping the parks in their states open, like the Grand Canyon in Arizona being one of many. I would also hope that we extend that same idea to HUD, Department of Education, Health and Human Services, all the other agencies that are being affected by this shutdown, so that we have with the state of Arizona a pre-existing memorandum of understanding that they will take over and fund Head Start, that they will take over and fund LIHEAP, that they will take over and fund education, that they will take over and fund veteran services, Native American services and programs in the state of Arizona. I think that that would be a gesture that would be felt across the state of Arizona, and I would certainly urge our governor, Ms. Brewer, that just as she worked on the Grand Canyon opening, that those are legitimate concerns that the people of Arizona are facing as well. And I would suggest, Mr. Mayor, that you would join with me in making sure that uranium mining is kept away from the Grand Canyon, because that is a threat, an imminent threat, and this shutdown doesn't mitigate that at all. That's still, it's there for 20 years, and I'm very appreciative of the Secretary's moratorium, but that is an imminent threat to the Grand Canyon as well. Let me ask you, Mr. Mayor, do you agree that the entire shutdown was not needed, should never have happened, or do you support that government shutdown efforts, you do support some government shutdown efforts as long as the parks in your region remain open?
Is the Congressman asking if I support a shutdown in the United States government?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
And I ask you that because, and I'm glad that you worked with Governor Brewer, because her October 1st media release, right after this whole shutdown thing started, she said she would not, she said, saying the Grand Canyon opening is not a top concern. She said on Monday she won't be trying to use state resources to keep the Grand Canyon open during a federal government shutdown. I don't know if the Grand Canyon is a priority for the state of Arizona. The governor said following a closed-door meeting with her cabinet. We have a lot of other priorities out there, like our National Guardsmen, children, and people that will be hurting desperately with this shutdown. I put that in the record, and I yield back.
Time of the gentleman.